Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Café&Croissant. September Café&Croissant, still virtual. Thank you very much for being here. This is an important Café&Croissant because it's a Café&Croissant of la rentrée, back to school. How do you guys feel being back to school? Today we are gonna have our Café&Croissant from, as I said, virtual, and a lot of contents, but in particular, and as it has been for the last few times, and hopefully for the future as well, I'm not alone. So I'd like to welcome my colleagues and friends that are going to help me in this journey today together with you. There should be Ingeborg from Campus Biotech Innovation Park and Geneve. Hello.
Hi, Antonio. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, we're very well, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. And yeah, we cannot wait to tell you all the good news from Campus Biotech Innovation Park.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, I know I'm reading a lot of stuff, and your socials have been very active recently. So I think good news, great news, also for fundraising, which is always very important for our companies. And from his kitchen lab, I think we should have our great James.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here in the Funjit kitchen, and we have real croissant and real coffee, and we have real innovators coming in here, socially distanced, and coaches as well. So the community is thriving. The last time we're holding this in the Café&Croissant.
Okay, fantastic. So it's really the digital definition of digital. You're experiencing this approach. Okay, yep. That's great. Okay, I think we can start, and then we're gonna hear from Ingeborg and from James a lot of interesting stuff. But let me start with the first comments about the situation, and I think that I'd like to say that the way we are experiencing this period of time at Funjit is looking a bit like this cat, this missing page cat 404. I mean, I think we all need to make friends with shredding a cat during this period of time. Why? Because we all are living in this dilemma of how our life and our business in particular is going to look like in the coming months. Is it going to be back to the normal it used to be? Business is going to catching up again? Are we more expecting rather a second wave of virus, and then with all the consequences also for the economy? Who knows? And in fact, the reality is that nobody knows. So we are really in this way a bit conflicted in is it going to be in one way or another? And actually both are equally possible, and we will not know until when we will be there. So I think a celebrated novelist once said that the test of a first-rate intelligence is really in the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still remain the ability to function and well reasoning. So it means that I think that this is a bit the way we feel at Funjit. I personally feel in having two different scenarios that can run forward and still functioning well or as good as possible. So I think this is the way we should approach the next coming months, and this is actually the recommendation we give to all our entrepreneurs. Holding opposite ideas when it comes, for example, to business, to clients, to investors, to the small things, the working environment, how we look like, how the events will be run. I'm sure that you all are noticing all these events that first were online, the first were real events, then moved online, then sometimes canceled. So it's really, we are adapting to the situation, contemplating so different scenarios. So the only thing we can recommend to our entrepreneurs is really to keep and being able to hold opposed thoughts in their mind, and being ready and agile and fast to react whenever one becomes the real the reality that will collapse around one single hypothesis. So this is extremely important, because what happened the last time when the first wave got kicked in was that we were not ready. We were completely unprepared. And unforeseen is unforeseen. You cannot foresee it by definition. So the only thing we can do today, unlike what happened a few months ago, is that we can get well and better prepared for what's going to come. So the advice we give to our startups is to have and to run with a few scenarios, business scenarios in parallel, when it comes to cash flow management, when it comes to business development, when it comes to fundraising, when it comes to all the different aspects of your business. Keep all these scenarios in parallel, and then start to be ready to switch from one to the other as quick as possible. So this is the only thing we can say. So to be prepared to the unforeseeable, that now we can foresee it, so we can run this scenario. So, I mean, this is the small advice that we try to give, and we try to align all our entrepreneurs, but also our activity at Funjit is like that. Our activity, which is based on major changes coming forward and coming soon for Funjit, and that I will mention in a moment. Starting with this one, yes, we are going to have soon, very soon, this September, a new fantastic home for Funjit. It's going to be an entirely new office, still in Plan Le Watt, few blocks away from where we are now, and it's going to be brand new, super technology inside, really centered around tech entrepreneurs, and with a very nice terrace. Why terrace? Because we still believe in our community, physical community, as the core of our activity, and we're looking forward really to welcome you all on our terrace and running events like the Café&Croissant as soon as possible, and eating all the croissants we have, and not only the ones that James currently is offering to his few guests at the cafeteria. So soon a new home for Funjit. We're going to inaugurate it. I think James will mention something in the slides a bit later, and we really look forward to open our new home for you all, and welcome you. Going to our successful entrepreneurs, Orama VR, a company in virtual reality, doing innovations for medical and surgical training. It's a new arrival at Funjit. They just established their headquarters in Geneva at Funjit, so we welcome them. They have been accepted by HTC to join this important accelerator program for virtual reality. So it's a very good achievement for them. Congratulations. And it's a very promising company. They are working already with the Greek University Center of Excellence, with Stanford University, with Stanford Research Institute in California as well. They are really and with the local Université HUG of Geneva. So they're really setting all the good cornerstone to become an extremely successful companies. So congratulations to Orama and welcome to Funjit. The next company that I would like to mention today is our beloved Terapet, official spin-off from CERN here in Geneva. They are hot on the wheels with the recent 1 million seed round covered, but they just got an additional support from InnoSwiss with an R&D grant in collaboration with CERN, which is extremely good news for the innovation scene in Switzerland and for Geneva in particular. So CERN, InnoSwiss, and a very, very promising startup like Terapet, all combined together. So that's a very good news for all the community around. And they also got the Venture Kick free. So they reached with this fantastic program. Venture Kick is really one of the best program we have in Switzerland, supporting tech entrepreneurs into their first steps, in the first step of their journey, entrepreneurial journey. They got the phase 3, so the end of the program, accumulating 150K of grant and equity and funding in general, and really able to boost their growth. So congratulations to Terapet, to Christina, Marcus, the entire team, and we are happy really, and we look forward to see your developments. The third company we would like to mention, and the good news as well, is for Inverse. Inverse is another virtual reality jewel we have in Geneva, in the area, in the Arc Lémanique, because they are based both in Lausanne and in Geneva, serving an important client that you can see here on the slide is Logitech. So they just completed the project with Logitech for a new for their technology applied to telepresence applications. Remember, we presented Inverse a few months ago as an example of a company able to adapt their technology to this low-touch economy, new economy that was about to come. And you see the first results. So virtual reality combined with telepresence applications, they got the interest of a key player such as Logitech. And so now they're starting to launch, hopefully soon, this application in collaboration with Logitech. I mean, as you can imagine, the potential is huge. So congratulations also to Inverse. Great job. They also got invited to join the Microsoft Startup Programs. And so you see HTC before, so for Orama, Microsoft here. So you see also the trend of these large corporations, Logitech, that are just approaching this technology. So I think after a bit of the hype at the beginning, disillusion, then once again, virtual reality is up to stay and there to stay for the coming years. So well done, Inverse. Really looking forward also to test this program. I see here on the picture we have Javier, the co-founder and CEO, in an hologram version. And yeah, I'd like to have also our hologram is really there, just about to show the real impact on our economy is blockchain. We have in Geneva a real and a true center of excellence, of competence of this technology for many different reasons. And one star that we have is a startup. I mean, it's growing very fast, so very soon it will no longer be a startup. They raised more than 10 million round few months ago, but in 2020. So in the turbulent situation of the market, of the economy, they managed to close this very significant round of financing with very credible investors, banks and institutions. I mean, Taurus, they are developing the next generation digital asset platform for really enabling the financial market, the financial players, the financial institutions, really to manage and to treat digital assets. So they're building the platform behind, standing for managing all the digital assets. Why we are giving this news of Taurus today? Because for the first time, Taurus, in collaboration with the Capital Markets and Technology Association, CMTA, which has among the founders, people like Swissquote, Lenz, Stalin, Pricewaterhouse, I mean, and other players, they managed to run a test of creating a company completely putting digital their shares and trading the shares both on the primary and the secondary market internally. It was a test bench and all done with the full compliance of the existing legal boundaries of the Swiss law. It might sound a bit technical for people who are not exactly into the blockchain world, but to me, this is an extremely important experiment that proves the fact that when it comes to digital assets and to put digital assets available into the mainstream of the financial markets, this is possible. This is compatible with existing Swiss law, and this has been done already through this test. So this to me represents a kind of a beta version of what's going to be the standard in the years to come for many companies, and in particular for Swiss companies. And I would rather say even more for Swiss startups for many different reasons. So our bet, and that's why I wrote it here at the bottom of the slide, that 2021 is going to be the year of blockchain. Now, I hear you. You're going to say, yes, it has been the year of blockchain, also the 2020, the 2019, the 2018, and the 17. That's true. But that's why I think this time is going to be for real. So I really believe that this thing can move forward, and I think is extremely relevant what all these big players using Taurus technology have been able to deliver with this test. But you can come to me and say, yeah, Antonio, you were wrong, or I was right. We will know after 21. So. A bit of a general situation of Swiss market. I'm having real pleasure to talk to you, and sorry I've been a bit long. Is talking about the situation in Switzerland, and unlike other countries in Europe, around Europe, and I would mention Italy, France, Spain, that will experience a significant decrease in the GDP this year. I mean, the range of 12, 14, 15%. Switzerland projections are pretty robust, pretty encouraging. In fact, we are expecting a decrease this year between 6 and 8%. Depends from the forecasts. Why I'm saying this? Because this proves once again a very important quality of the Swiss economy, which is resilience. I know that we have been hearing this word so often. It's a kind of mantra. Everybody talks about being resilient. But if you want to have the best example of what resilience means, we should look at how Switzerland is treating the economy and the crisis, the current crisis. Of course, things can be done better. You can always do better, but the results that Switzerland is achieving are, in my opinion, remarkable. The réduction de l'horaire du travail, which has been the core of the measures put in place, has been so effective, so quick, and so relieving that many companies really have been saved by that. We need to check about the second wave of the crisis. So, as I said in the first slide, don't forget to hold two opposite ideas and try to keep them open. But Switzerland has proven this. And in innovation, that is the same. So Swiss companies, they have not decreased the amount of innovation, if possible, during these months. But whenever possible, they actually understood that investing in innovation was the way to go. And I think a key role here has been played by InnoSwiss, the Swiss innovation agency that promotes science-based research projects. In the first half of this year, they actually increased of 60% the number of projects, the volume in terms of money given, reaching 63 million compared to 2019. So you understand how important here the role of the state, bringing money through this collaboration among academic partners, scientific partners, and companies. And this is really setting the best grounds for having the Swiss economy in the future going even better than today. So investing in innovation is the only option that our economy needs to have in order to best perform in the future after this crisis. Even the CEO of InnoSwiss, Annelies Eggimann, is pointing this out, and they're really contributing to shape the change within the Swiss economy. And really, I'm personally proud to be part of this organization of InnoSwiss, which is doing an incredible job for Switzerland. As you know, we have also other measures. It's not only Arachte. We are still running through the emergency funding for Geneva tech startups, which is a measure that has been put in place by the Confederation and the state of Geneva. And we, as Funjit, we act as enabler of this measure. We take care of the paperwork and the analysis of the dossier. What is interesting here to point out that we have been receiving a lot of requests. The measure went until the 31st of August. Next Café&Croissant, we will be able to provide you with the results of our measure. But this is to mention that also here with this credit loan with guaranteed loan facilities. Sorry, you can see that the Confederation and the Geneva state have been really supportive towards the startup world as well. And then there is the private market. The private market, and this is another sign of resilience of Switzerland. We were expecting to have a much larger decrease in investment. I was personally expecting that, So, and I was happily wrong here, because the Swiss Venture Insight and Capital report. And I invite you to go and check that on startup.ch. So thank you to the Marcon team. I'm seeing that you are putting the links in the stream. Startup.ch as well as startupticker.ch. They have this report, this half-year report for 2020. Surprisingly, there is a decrease, but not as dramatic as it was expected. the activity of investor is still robust. I would say even because we don't have super high round of financing like last year. And also surprisingly enough, Geneva has been able to raise about 120 million for its startups in the first half part of the year, which is incredible because it's more than the double of last year. We're still talking about relatively small numbers, but you start to see a trend, which is encouraging for all of us. So you see also the private sector is playing the game and really invest into the future. And among the private sector and very active in that area, there are of course angel investors. Sept is one of the most important angel investor groups we have in Switzerland. They have been the angel group who raised the most for its startups last year, and then they're still developing, and they're developing fast. So we are also very proud to welcome a Swiss ICT investor club, so Sept, event this October at Funjit, 1st of October 2020. If you're a startup interested to participate to this extremely relevant startup event, today is your last chance to register. So welcome to register. If you have any questions, you can go on our social media. It should be everything well explained. I think that James will cover this point as well in a moment. And now I think I spoke enough. I think I'd like to share the screen now and the stage with Ingeborg, because if we have news at Funjit, I think she has nice news as well from Campus Biotech Innovation Park and from Geneve as well. Ingeborg, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you, Antonio. And yes, indeed, we have some nice news. So did you know we already exist 4 years? Meaning, oh, wow. Campus Biotech Innovation Park opened its doors 4 years ago, as well as Genius. And we're actually going to celebrate this on the 29th of September. So if you actually are in Campus Biotech Innovation Park, feel free to pass by that day, because we'll have some pre-packed cupcakes on the day. So some news actually about our projects that we support at Genius. One of them is Talis Life. Oh, sorry, I'll start with Intra. Intra is a non-profit organization which develops multidisciplinary programs for children and adolescents who suffer from a trauma. And it's actually for mental traumas. And they recently grown to a team of 15. Now, Intra are developing programs for West Africa and also for youth in Lebanon. But following the COVID crisis and seeing there was a surge in adolescents and young people who need to manage their stress and anxiety, they launched the Zen Intra Connect video series. So the team at Genius is actually posting the links to Intra and also for you to check this out. Then we have Talis Life. For those of you who do not know Talis Life yet, it's an easy-to-use application that empowers you to improve your energy, stress resilience, and health. And the mobile application will be available very soon, and keep an eye out on them. And you can sign already up for your free test at info@talislife.com. They will also launch their B2B project this month. Now, from the building where the more further advanced startups and larger organizations are based, we have some great news from a direct neighbor. I think they can hear me through the walls, actually, while I'm talking. Ayungtura. This summer, Ayungtura announced that they raised an additional 5.1 million euros, extending their Series A round, bringing it to a total of 20 million euros. So congratulations to them. It's a fantastic team. It's a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company who develop a pipeline of next generation molecules targeting cancer and fibrosis. More good news and interesting news now more towards the COVID situation. We mentioned them last time, but there's more progress been made by them in the meanwhile, because obviously we had our last Café&Croissant before the summer. Relief Therapeutics and Nurix, they're still going strong in their fight against acute respiratory distress following a COVID-19 infection. That's actually the primary cause of death following an infection by COVID-19. So they announced that clinical findings in the first 21 patients treated with the RLF 100 have been submitted for peer review to leading scientific journal. So lots of progress being made. The findings actually demonstrate that some critically ill patients with COVID-19 experience substantial clinical improvement when treated with this RLF 100. Another organization focusing on this acute respiratory distress, or ARDS, is Orion Biotechnology. And they're a clinical stage pharmaceutical company, also actually based on this floor, focused on precision engineering and small protein therapeutics. And they're receiving now advisory services and conditional funding from the National Research Council to further the development of OB002, which targets the same disease. So congratulations to them as well. Now, just for your information, the most important life sciences news and events in Switzerland, we're not going to list them here, that will be too long, but we'll refer you to the most important life sciences cluster in Western Switzerland, which is BioAlps. There's a link in the chat that takes you to the BioAlps newsletter that gives you all the best life sciences events, and there are also discount codes for affiliated entities. And secondly, if you're more closer to home, you want to know more about what's happening in Campus Biotech, there is a fantastic team at Campus Biotech collecting news, putting it in a really good newsletter. So you can also sign up to that newsletter, and then you know what events are taking place at Campus Biotech as well. Well, that is it from us, and we look forward to seeing you on the 29th of September. Well, at least some of you, for our 4th birthday.
Well, first of all, thank you, Ingeborg. First of all, happy birthday! 4 years, it's great. You're still a baby, but that shows that it takes time to build good things. I mean, that goes for startups and goes also for organization. Funjit next year, this coming year, will celebrate the 30th anniversary. So we start to be, we are more than adult, but. And we're still learning, and we're still changing. Yes, thank you for that, and thank you also for these very nice events coming up. Because raising money is important, but before raising money, you also need to become visible for investors. One of the best things that you can do for becoming visible is to win prizes. Of course, prizes is not the goal. Prizes is the way to be successful through investments. But I mean, literally, it just materialized on my desk, this prize that one of our startups just got awarded with is Poppety. Poppety is doing artificial intelligence, bringing artificial intelligence to the real estate market. So they won this great prize against. It's a Swiss prize in their sector, the Startup Award 2020, against a very strong competition. So this is extremely important for qualifying the startup and then being able to raise further money required for the development. So congratulations, Poppety. So I will raise this for you, but of course it's yours. And actually, it's a nice piece of things. So, so with this, I think I can move to the cafeteria. James, do you hear us?
Yes, I do, Antonio. And if we can just go back a slide, because I'd like to go through the list of other events that are happening. Congratulations to Poppety. As Antonio said, the visibility and the business development and the recognition of the prizes in the Swiss startup scene are crucial. And we see this another milestone in Poppety's success. The startup scene is busy and active, and one of the key events that happens each year is Venture Lab's Top 100 Swiss Startup Award. This is a competition with a very prestigious jury evaluating all of the startups that have been created, I think, in the last 5 years, and they will be recognized in a list that will be published. And that's coming out shortly. You can watch that online. So the joys of Funjit is that you can actually attend these events at a very low price or for free virtually. As Antonio mentioned, the angel community in Switzerland is active at the moment. They see this as an ideal opportunity to invest in the future. And we have Sept, who are going to be at Funjit physically in our new facility on October the 1st. And if you are a startup in ICT, please apply. The deadline is midnight tonight. This is a unique opportunity to pitch in front of the most active angel investor club in Switzerland. Crucial event that happens once a year is, it used to be called the Swiss CEO Days. It's the Swiss Startup Day. This is when the whole Swiss startup community come together. If you're there, you get onto people's radars. It's the quickest way to reconnect with your whole startup network there, just by walking around. It's this year it's on 2 days. There are places to be physically there, so if you can, I would definitely recommend that. There's also an online component, but if you're a CEO of a startup in Switzerland, or if you're an investor or a supporter, this is the place to go. It happens once a year, and we should definitely support that one. And of course, on the life sciences, Ingeborg mentioned the great organization BioAlps that have their networking day in the afternoon of November the 9th. There are many more events. You can find them all on Swiss Startup Ticker, which is our news source for the for everything that's happening in startups in Switzerland. So please check these out and be involved. But a key highlight in our calendar, normally we have a one-day Funjit Force, which is run by a top trainer, normally coming in from the UK. These are people that helped Sydney win the Olympic bid. They are experts in how to help clients and how to do optimal business development in a comfortable way. So the difference between an invention and an innovation is the ability to understand the value creation, to understand the needs and jobs to be done of your client, and then to help move that towards a winning deal. So they're going to be, this year we're going to do it in a series of online lunchtime workshops. So the best of 4 years of training, you're actually going to be able to get online over lunch. Persuasive communication, how to actively listen and persuade by listening, and also answer the questions in an effective way. And of course, the most important thing is how to have useful meetings with potential clients. It's not maybe the most sexy title, but it is the most crucial one. How to build that relationship with a potential client and ultimately become an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur needs to sell. So we're very lucky to be partnering with Arcadia, the architects of change, and Deborah Price, who is the workshop leader who's trained so many of our most successful CEOs over the years. What's funny about these workshops is we tend to see the most mature CEOs who've exited their companies turning up to get a refresher course. So there are still places. Please sign up and get your seat. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you there. And then, of course, we have another very big event coming up. And here you can see a mock-up of it, but actually outside the window over there I can actually see the real thing and people walking along the balcony. So the move is happening Friday next week, and the official opening is happening next Wednesday. So Wednesday in 10 days, I should say. So come and visit it if you're a member of a Funjit startup and you're going to have a space there. You can be there and attend. Otherwise, you're welcome to attend online together with local celebrities and politicians to inaugurate our new home, which I guess is probably Funjit 4.0, ready to take us into the next 30 years of supporting successful startups. So with that, the key thing is stay connected with us physically, by phone, and online. We have a really fabulous team at Funjit, of Marcom and at Genius, taking the best news and filtering it and putting it through to you. And the Funjit newsletter came out last week. It's a very useful read about what's happened, what's happening, and what the thought leaders are thinking. And we look forward to hearing your comments on the socials. And if you have any news that you'd like to share with us, please share it with events at funjit.ch or events at genius.ch. Okay, and after that, the floor is open to your questions. Feel free to ask Ingeborg or Antonio everything you wanted to know about startups and innovation that you were afraid to ask. So actually, Antonio, the question we've been wondering is, why move now, and what are you looking forward to the most in the new building?
I think you said, I will go back to this picture. Okay, so it's a nice picture. So we will be on the top floor here, and this will allow to be really the heart of tech innovation, one of the heart tech innovation in the region, because in the end it's all about community, as I tried to mention. So why to move now? Because for also economic reason, it's going to be a more interesting place, more convenient in terms of services. We'll be able to provide more and better services to our startups. But it's the fact that we also had some grown-up companies that had to look for their new home themselves. And I'm mentioning companies such as Cleverdist, such as Alohai, Proton Mail. I mean, these three companies, they're growing very fast. And so they had to go and have their own premises, but they wanted to stay close in a way to the core of activities. That's why what is going to be nice of this new building is that we will have a floor here on the top with the terrace, and then many other floors below, and in particular one entire place here that will be taken by one of our successful companies called Selexist, that now exited or just became too big to stay with us. We will be really a center of innovation for Geneva. So the idea is really to concentrate this center of competence and innovation, tech innovation, in one single place, because it's about community. We will have a terrace where we can have nice events, where we can meet people, we can welcome people, and we can exchange people. From our experience, there is still no better place than a coffee machine to exchange ideas and useful connection among entrepreneurs who are looking for something, among investor entrepreneurs, among people who are looking for jobs, and people who are searching for talents. Okay, so the only reason is the main reason is gets to the community aspect that we want to foster and enhance even further. And yeah, so it will be nice. It will be a nice experience. As I was saying to Ingeborg before, we are turning 30 next year. I think it's time to find a place that we can also put some plans and then become a bit grown up, right?
Absolutely. So we've got another question coming from Etienne, which is, how have you seen the COVID-19 crisis impact startups who are looking to expand to foreign markets? Has it been more difficult, and how have startups dealt with it?
Yeah, that's an extremely good and complicated question, because from our experience, it really depends, and it depends from the market, the specific market where the startup is in. There are situations where definitely, in order to develop foreign market, in order to develop to the international, you need to have a local presence, because maybe your clients are the typical business clients that require physical contact. That would be probably still a bit problematic. There are other situations where actually the COVID probably fostered the business development, because the product of the specific startup was actually more in favor of going towards what the companies were looking for. The example of Inverse, for example, is one. I can mention other companies such as Alohai, such as Clever This, such as Protoman, companies that are actually exploiting the situation. I believe, in general, that you should read the situation and always trying to see the half full glass. I'll try to explain. Of course, if you want to go and open international United States, I mean, first of all, the first months, if your company was targeting business as clients, the business, depends from the size, they were not even answering to your calls, because there was literally nobody in the office. Now they're starting to get back. They're starting to fill up their pipelines again, but it's complicated. It's complicated. But how complicated it is for you going to the United States is also very complicated for United States to come to Europe. So from a tactical standpoint, for example, and I don't know which sector we are talking about here, I would probably try to use the situation like a protective element of my local market first and European market after, and trying to expand as much as I can this month, where I can have the most of the reach, physical or digital, but the most of the reach. Because our problem in Switzerland and in Europe are the same problem the United States people have, or even China has. Don't forget that. So it means there's an opportunity to develop more local markets. And from my experience, now I start to be a bit old, there is no success where you are not first king where you are. First be king where you are, and then you can expand. So I think this is probably the one. I mean, I cannot be nothing but very, very, very simple in the definition and a bit superficial. But I think this is a good rule of thumb. So try to think that also the other countries are the same problems that you have, trying to internationalize and try to exploit this opportunity as local as possible. We have great examples of this also in Funjit portfolio. You know, when you think about companies like Magic Tomato, for different reasons, but Magic Tomato, V Labs, opening up markets local because they have very good tech and no competition at this stage, in fact.
There's definitely a good home advantage at the moment, and we often find that people do go overstretch before actually making sure they win locally. But if you are thinking about internationalizing, we warmly recommend Swiss Global Enterprise, who have advisors all around the world, and it's a kind of non-profit organization supported by the Swiss government, and they offer tremendous advice for you. If you are an InnoSuisse backed company, you can also do their market entry camps, where people will give you perfect advice about who to contact, what are the market dynamics, what are the cultural adaptations that you need to make. And we definitely recommend the market entry camps in London, Brazil, China, India, and Boston, and also the West Coast, San Francisco. So you can really use the Swiss network. It surprises people just how good Switzerland is at helping its companies expand, but that's because Switzerland has a heritage of exporting high-value innovations around the world. So please use them and use their advice. It's so much more effective than hiring some random person in a foreign market. These people come approved by the Swiss organizations. And we have also seen some cases. There are a number of our projects that won prizes from Venture Lab to be part of the venture leaders to go to locations around the world. Also doing part of it virtually, so you're still getting some biz dev done there. You'll see that Swisscom have opened their Venture Challenge applications, and that's normally a trip to Silicon Valley. So that can be useful at this moment in time to apply to that. So
maybe another word on this from the life sciences angle, because obviously with the COVID crisis, there are new opportunities, new markets, needs have completely changed. And for international expansion, you can also look at funding that is available, for example, European funding that has obviously been increased in depending on what you're working on. So we see here a lot of people being very, start being very knowledgeable of what's out there and try to adjust what you're doing, look at your core competences and see where the new needs are. So that's another recommendation we would like to make.
Yeah, thank you both James and Ingeborg. I mean, going international is very crucial. I was thinking now that I had a chat with an important VC recently, and they were mentioning me that internationalization is so risky every time, extremely expensive, very risky, and outcome is very fuzzy and uncertain. So it's a key step that you need to take very, very carefully. And I think what James said about the supporting organization in Switzerland is great. This is one of the great added value we have in Switzerland. But during the specific times, I think playing local, because we have less competition, is really a tactical opportunity not to underestimate at all. Yeah.
I see another question in the chat.
Yes, we have a question from Milena, who is asking that, do you think that the acceleration of digitalization will also boost the adhesion of cryptocurrencies? And if yes, how risky is it to win on this technology and in this field? So why is 2021 going to be the year of blockchain?
I think 2021 hopefully is going to be the year of blockchain as mainstream technology. So it will become mainstream technology used within mainstream processes of the financial markets, or starting to be used. In particular, starting with digital assets, kind of, for example, shares of companies. Cryptos is already a reality. Most or many banks, they have been integrating platforms supporting cryptos. So it's an asset class with its own dignity. When it comes to the real life, the day-to-day life, going and paying in crypto your grocery store, I think. I mean, I don't know if that is the purpose. let me say that we are expecting 2021 to be also the blockchain year because of the platform, so the backend for the financial system, but also because it will be the official launching of the Libra project from Facebook. And this is, I think, a turn point when it comes to crypto as a currency, because it's the first established, I would say, institutional, with all the brackets associated, player launching a crypto project of this order of magnitude. And so I think we are looking forward to see the development of this, because all the other players and also the governments, they will have to position themselves, after this. So it's going to be something. Then if you want to bet or leverage on this technology, I think, this is an asset class, and then you should take all the consideration when it comes to risky investments. But this is for any other risky investment as well.
Yeah, it's true that some of my friends that are highly active in that space are finding very new applications of blockchain that are gaining traction. So it will be different in the areas of success. It can be very high gain, but it's high risk, high gain. And in all these situations, prediction is difficult, especially when it's of the future. So build a portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Good. So I think that's the final question we have on our chat, but we're always available on our socials and also live in our buildings. So you might see us with our gloves on and moving boxes for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I think I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. I'd like to thank the team. I think we have also Evelyn in the background, our director of the event. Thank you, Evelyn, for that. Thank you, Marcom team. And we look forward to seeing you next Café&Croissant in the new building. We look forward to celebrating Geneve's birthday cake. And until then, have a nice, good, and think opposite directions and alternative solutions. So life will become easier. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.